Welcome to another episode of Monster Men. Arrgh. Or phone home keys. Today on Monster Men, we are going to talk about a subject that I have loved ever since Bobby Brady experienced an alien in basically their backyard in the Brady Bunch. We're going to talk a little bit about UFOs. And we're going to cover, since we're Monster Men, we'll delve into space-related alien movies as well. And a personal encounter, close encounter of one Hunter Shea.
It wasn't just mine. There were,
by the way,
Hunter Shea people
and Jackie Gleason.
I was huge into UFOs in the 90s. The entire decade of the 90s was spent by me amassing everything I could on UFOs and abductions, and I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, you can see I've got, this is just, the books I have out here is a tiny 1/100th of the stuff that I collected. Which, little known fact, the biggest collection, private collection of UFO memorabilia and information, Jackie Gleason.
What?
Yep, Jackie Gleason even built a home in Florida that's shaped like a UFO.
Wow.
And supposedly,
that's worth the price of admission, Monster fans.
He had a golf outing with Richard Nixon, and Richard Nixon gave him secrets about U.S. involvement in UFOs. Crazy, and away we go!
Oh, boy.
But, I mean, I will tell you my true fascination in UFOs, aside from growing up in things that we would see on TV, in 1980, I would say, either 87 or 88, I was going to pick up my sister from Kids R Us at the mall, and my mother drove me and my girlfriend, who was now my wife at the time, and we drove up to the mall garage, the top of the garage, which runs adjacent to this major thruway in New York. And we're sitting out there waiting, and it's nighttime, there aren't many lights on the garage because that place is not too good. And I see that 87, Route 87, which is the New York State Thruway, is stopped. All the traffic has stopped. All the cars have pulled over to the side. It's about 9 o'clock.
So that's when you know something's weird, because traffic is one thing, but pulled over.
Pulled over is another thing. And then when we look, everybody's out of their cars. So when we get out of our car and we're on this parking garage, this elevated garage, and we see, it's not so much you see anything, it's an absence of anything. So on a starry night, there's an absence of stars, as this thing that's the size of Rhode Island is hovering overhead, with just a few lights on these far ends, and it just soundlessly goes over New York. And then my sister came out, she saw it, she's freaking, everybody's crying. We're driving in the car, we go to my parents' house, and they've got the porch, we're out on the porch, and we watch it, and it goes over down towards New Jersey, and then it lights up like a candle and goes straight up in the air. And it was witnessed by tens of thousands of people at the time.
Wow.
That got like a little tiny part, but it got on the front page, but it got a little tiny portion of the front page.
Wow.
So that sealed the deal.
Hey, if anybody else saw that.
I know my man Tony Ventarola is really interested in that story, because he was around at the time too. And he knows all about it.
If you saw it, go to our Facebook page, Facebook/MonsterMen13.
This happened in the fall of 80, I think it's 87 or 88 here in Lower Westchester. And people saw it in Manhattan, people saw it in New Jersey. It was
I never even heard about it, and I was in Connecticut just up the road. So.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was fortunate to be out there, because it's the only time I ever picked my sister up from work.
I got an interesting story. It wasn't me. It was my father. And he was working, I would have to say this is probably the 60s, late 60s probably, it was sometime around there. And I think his company was working with the military, like a technical company. And they were doing, it also could have been when he was in the Army, so I don't know when the hell this was, but he has a story of how they have, you know, the radar. Right. And they were tracking something, and when something moves along the radar, as it swipes, something going fast doesn't move that far as it's moving. Well, they got on there, and something was spotted in the air, and then the guys in the plane were talking, were seeing it, and so they did, you know, a swipe, you know, after watching the radar thing go, and the dots are right next to each other.
Right.
And then when it swiped around again, this dot was like over here, and then it like didn't. It was gone.
Which would
like,
be impossible.
Yeah, it was like way too fast. Like,
right.
And he was just telling the story the other day to us. He's like, he goes, yeah. He goes, there's no aircraft could have moved as fast as that thing was. So he goes, I can't tell you that it was spacemen or aliens, but I can tell you it was an unidentified flying object that was moving.
See, there are way too many stories out there, and documented stories by professional people, professional aviators, that, to me, there's just so much out there that you can't deny it anymore. I don't need a body, I don't need a craft to know that. Something's there. I don't know what it is. It could be us from the future popping in and saying, hey, what's going on
Well, I
here?
think there has to be some things that are just, you know, government testing aircrafts.
There's a lot that's,
you know,
like
like
that.
the Area 51 stuff. I mean, a stealth bomber, before you know what a stealth bomber that's an alien craft.
Right, and Project Aurora, which might explain some of the triangular crafts and the way that they operate.
And that, like, Fact or Faked on Sci-Fi does a great job of showing how something could be mistaken for a UFO.
Fact or Faked, which is the home of who I now crown her the Queen of the Paranormal, Jael Pardo, who has started at Destination Truth, went to Fact or Faked, and then did Haunted Highways.
Oh, really?
First girl to get 3 under her
The
belt.
trifecta.
Good for you.
Good luck, sketchy far.
But for the second, or maybe she's the princess of the paranormal, is Erin Ryder, who also started at Destination Truth, but now she does Chasing UFOs on Nat Geo.
Oh, that commercial's hilarious.
Oh yeah, she's hardcore. She's a badass, man. But that show, it's tough to do a show on UFOs because a UFO shows up here in the
Remember
sky.
Project Blue Book when we were kids?
Oh God, yes.
The,
Loved Project Blue Book.
And in search of, again, UFOs were the bread and butter of...
UFOs, I mean, it's an intriguing topic only because there's just so much, and it never stops.
Well, you go back to Close Encounters is kind of the staple of UFO/alien.
There's a lot. There's a theory that Steven Spielberg was given access to top secret information. That's why he came out with that.
Really?
So here's the thing. Was he given information that has now set the tone for what people think UFOs act and look like? Or did he create it out of, you know, his mind, and that's now set the tone for what people think? Good question.
I don't know.
Going back to your Bermuda Triangle, that's where the people from Flight 19
were
abducted by aliens and then spit out when they landed.
Did you ever see Signs with Mel Gibson?
Love Signs.
I love that movie. That's a M. Night's Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Best movie by far.
Yeah, that's a great alien movie.
Swing Away.
Swing Away, Meryl. Good flick. Highly recommend that one.
Scary.
Hello, welcome to Monster Man. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and send this link to your friends. And take me to your leader.
Let's talk about some movies. UFO movies alone is a hard topic, so let's go.
There aren't many, though.
UFO movies plus alien movies plus space horror movies, just for the hell of it. But I will say, along those lines, I know you're going to talk about this one. Let me guess it.
Yeah.
On the heels of Close Encounters, watch Paul. Alien
Paul
movie
was
with the guys from Shaun of the Dead are in it, and Seth Rogen and Kristen Wiig. And Seth Rogen is the animated alien who likes to smoke weed.
Kristen Wiig is awesome in that.
Kristen Wiig's awesome in it. I love her. But that's a good alien movie. And it's all about geeks like us.
Yeah, it's just a complete homage to geekdom, but it's really funny. A movie that's not funny, Fire in the Sky, starring, what's his face? It's right here, D.B. Sweeney.
Who is like the case study.
This is the story of Travis Walton, who was he was a logger and he was abducted in front of his friends.
Travis Walton, he's the case study.
Yeah, and he disappeared for several days and came back and had signs of trauma, and he still swears that he was abducted by aliens. So this is like the classic abduction case. The aliens in this are really creepy. I don't know if you can see if there's an alien.
I'll try and find a
under
picture
there.
of it and post it up.
Kind of scary. Communion, which I think is over here. That's Whitley Strieber, who was a horror writer. He was abducted up in New York. I think it was Orange County or the county above it. And he wrote about his true story of abductions, and he's written several books. But this and that cover really set the tone for the gray alien craze.
Yeah,
Creepy movie though.
Probing is just a scary concept.
The probing thing killed him. If you didn't put the probing thing in, I think people wouldn't laugh as much. But the probing just shouldn't have.
You're only laughing until you're the one being probed.
Exactly. But he wasn't a redneck getting probed. See, everyone says it's rednecks, but it isn't. It could be anybody.
It could be. You got a lot of books here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was into everything. John Mack, he was with, I think he was with Harvard, and he believed in abductions. And Bud Hopkins, who recently passed away, he created the whole missing time phenomenon where people say, "Wow, a whole hour of my life is gone," and through hypnotic regression, he'd find out.
You also pointed out the Mothman prophecies.
Mothman had
to aliens,
alien stuff in it too, possibly. Who knows?
Now, if you just went to space movies, the horror movies that have us.
Well, there's one that's the best of all time.
Yes, let's talk about that one.
Alien. There is nothing. That is the perfect marriage of sci-fi and horror. I mean, that movie still to this day will scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, and it's funny because Alien is basically a horror movie, and then Aliens, the sequel, is like an action movie.
Yeah, two different movies, but they're
both really good.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
The Alien is definitely a horror movie. It's claustrophobic.
Oh, when Dallas is in the tunnels and they're going, "It's right behind you! It's right behind you!" Oh my God, that's just crazy.
Now, another space horror movie that I had not seen when it came out. I only watched it finally, like last year. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I hadn't seen this. And I love it. Is Event Horizon.
Event Horizon's really cool.
Which, there's a South Park episode where the little woodland creatures turn out to be like crazy devil-worshipping maniacs. And they do a scene that is an homage to the scene in Event Horizon where they see the video of what happened to the other crew. And when I was like, oh my God, that's where South Park got that from.
Now you know.
Critters. Event Horizon is basically a spaceship disappears for like 7 years and then reappears like near Neptune or something. So this
movie's like 14 years old too.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I thought it was like an Alien ripoff or something. I just had no interest.
Its own thing.
Then I finally sat down and watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah.
It's basically a ghost story in space. Basically, this ship goes somewhere and comes back and brings something with it, and the whole idea of, we don't know what's beyond our galaxy in space, but also we don't know, like, where does a black hole go? And all these kinds of questions like
Cancun.
that. Yeah, Bermuda Triangle. So there's some really good demonic stuff going down.
That's a good, creepy movie.
Yeah, definitely a must-watch.
Now, some that you should never watch, Jason X.
Oh, Jason X.
When Jason goes to space.
No, you should watch that one because you get a good laugh, but don't pay to watch it.
Right. Hellraiser in space. Leprechaun in space.
You should have that on Blu-ray.
Those are horrible movies that are set in space with monsters.
Now, recently, though, there's too many Alien movies. I kind of gave up after the third one. Mm-hmm. And I don't even like the third one that much. Basically, it's Alien and Aliens for me.
Oh, you mean the fourth one?
Well, the third one was she goes to that prison planet.
And then there's the fourth one.
Fourth one was just an abortion. Oh, I hated that movie. So I basically, Alien, it's only 1 and 2. Then whatever, if you're an Alien fan. Then you've got Alien versus Predator. You want to see a really good one, see Batman Dead End on YouTube. It's a fan movie where Batman ends up fighting aliens and Predator.
Oh, that's weird.
And it's so well done. It sounds stupid. It's one of the best things you'll ever see. That Batman Dead End. Watch it on YouTube.
Gotta check that out.
But recently, Prometheus came out. And it's like,
which I was dying when I saw the coming attractions. I said, if I see one movie this year, it's that, and I didn't see it.
It's a loose prequel to Alien. I saw it. Visually, good-looking movie. Does it have a few good moments in it? Sure. Was it a letdown? Yes.
Everybody I know who I really respect told me to stay away.
They try and bring up some big picture questions about where humans come from.
Vaginas?
Not even.
Oh.
That would have been more fun. So it's got a definite link to, and you know that space jockey thing at the beginning of Alien? Yeah. That's the link. You'll find out what space jockeys are. But
why do they call them a space jockey?
Cable.
Jockeys are tiny little guys that ride horses.
I don't know where they got that.
That was enormous.
I don't know.
See?
I'm not
confused.
I like the Alien movies, but I'm not like a crazy. For me, a space movie, I'll watch Serenity and Star Trek.
Right.
But Prometheus is a good-looking movie. What way for cable, I say.
And you know what? I brought this up, and Jack wrote it down. Starship. I can't even say it.
Starship Troopers. Now, I never read the book, and I heard that they're going to remake.
There's a book?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You gotta watch Starship Troopers because it's 90210 in space.
Yeah, with Doogie Howser before he became
Howser, Casper Van Dien, who was in Dracula 3000, which is in space. Oh, this is why I'm a monster man.
6 degrees.
With Coolio and Erica Eleniak. Dracula 3000, Vampires on a Spaceship, another bad space movie.
Right.
I just
knocked it out of the park.
But if everybody watching this has seen Starship Troopers. We don't have to tell people.
No.
It's stupid fun. And
I'll leave it at stupid.
No, it's fun. Okay, so if you get abducted by aliens, take some photos and send them in.
If you get probed, by all means, if you videotape it, let us see.
Like us on Facebook and probe us on Facebook.
Comic book of the day, the Infernal Man-Thing. They're doing a limited run of 3 issues of Man-Thing, which picks up from a storyline that was created in the 70s. And picks up here because the guy who wrote it has since passed away, but they wanted to get this out for him posthumously.
Oh, wow.
So pick this up when you get a chance, because Man-Thing is always creepy. And unlike Swamp Thing, you can understand what's going on.
Nice. All right, so that does it for another episode of Monster Men. We'll see you next time.
Keep looking at the skies.
Arg.